So you really were leading a pretty normal,
very normal,
impressive
ordinary.
life, but a pretty normal
Correct.
life.
Very anonymous. You know, when they were clapping, healthcare workers for going in at night, I was just one of those anonymous people in blue, like in the PPE, just doing my job, I thought, taking care of sick people. But I was excited, to be honest with you. I'm an ER doctor. This is an emergency.
Yeah, right.
Bring it, So I was reading all of the journals, I was reading all the science, and I'm talking to my peers. I'm saying, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? There was such a lack of curiosity. It was shocking. I never knew that doctors were not curious as I was. It was the minority of doctors that were curious. And that
I
was
thought
upsetting.
science is curiosity.
No, it was dead. It was a very small minority of doctors that were curious, that were really, I'd be like, well, what do you think of this study? There was so many studies showing early treatment work. Their studies started in February of 2020. Studies came up from France. By July, when I came to national attention, there were 57 studies showing that the early treatment worked, 57 from all over the world. So I'd be showing people these studies, and the doctors were not curious. And it was, but not the good thing, but it taught me that the answer was never going to come through the doctors. The answer had to come from the people. That's what I learned in the first few months of the lockdown.
But by this point, you're like a long-established practicing doctor.
Correct. I was being, the doctors have become overwhelmingly employees, right? Doctors used to be small business owners and had some independence. I think in my father's day, it was probably about 20% of doctors, perhaps, were employees, probably less. Nowadays, I think it's around 75 or 85% of doctors are employees. So I was an employee of a hospital, as many doctors are. We were told what to do. So I think that contributed to the lack of curiosity.
Fascinating.
Your employer told you, you did it.
That's really, really interesting.
It's
but I
scary.
thought the basic precept of medicine, which is of course the same as science, because it is a science, was that you don't trust any preconception about anything.
Right.